Selamat siang Bapak Ibu sekalian, yang terhormat Bapak Wakil Rektor Bidang Perencanaan, yang terhormat Bapak Wakil Dekan, para tamu undangan dan Bapak Ibu peserta workshop yang kami hormati. Izinkan saya nanti menggunakan bahasa Indonesia untuk memandu diskusi dengan pertimbangan batasan bahasa. Akan mendampingi saya nanti ada Bu Aisyah yang akan membantu menerjemahkan dalam bahasa Mandarin. Saya juga akan sedikit memandu dengan bahasa Inggris untuk kemudahan komunikasi dengan para pembicara. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, honorable speakers, welcome to the second session of today's workshop. Allow me, Freddy Nugroho, to guide you throughout this session. To begin with, I'd like to inform you with several situations that in the second session, each keynote speaker is allocated 15 minutes to deliver their presentations. And after each session, I will translate the summary of the materials in Bahasa Indonesia so that the audience can understand the points of your presentation. And after all speakers conclude their presentations, there will be a discussion sessions. And in these sessions, I will invite audience here to raise questions to the speakers in Bahasa Indonesia, an Indonesian language, that will be translated in English or in Chinese by Mrs. Aisyah. And without further ado, I'd like to invite the first speaker for this second session. That is Professor Yong Xiang or Professor Hardy. Bisa diberikan tepuk tangan untuk Prof. Hardy. Prof. Yong Xiang adalah dekan dari Institute of Cultural Studies, Peking University. Beliau meneliti tentang ekonomi budaya dan pengembangan industri kreatif. Beliau berpengalaman secara global dan menjadi penasihat pemerintah. Juga sekaligus menjabat sebagai UNESCO Chairholder for Rural Development yang fokus pada kreativitas dan pembangunan berkelanjutan di kawasan pedesaan. Okay, so I would like to invite Prof. Hardy to deliver your presentation. Prof. Hardy, please.
Distinguished Professor and my dear friends Andy and colleagues from Faculty of Cultural Studies and other faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So it's my honor to be here to give my thinking about cultural heritage, how to transition into daily life. So we call this is a key words in the creative empowerment. Maybe it's not doesn't work. Please confirm it. Yes. So today I will talk about turning rich cultural roots into a force for sustainable development. Because totally we agree that cultural heritage isn't just about the past. It's about building a better future. So I want to show 3 points. The first one, the innovative concept of the genetic inheritance of Chinese cultural heritage. So, in China, until this year, China has 44 UNESCO intangible cultural heritage and 60 World Heritage culture and natural heritage sites. So there aren't just statistics, there are living traditions. There are their story, skills, and identity that connect us to our ancestors, and they are still relevant today. So for China, for central government and for CBC central community, they are take emphasis on how to protection cultural heritage and how to promote cultural heritage transformation into daily life, into culture and creative product. So this is just a very new points about the CBC's the 20th Congress and fourth meeting. There are proposals of this as for next 5 years, how to do, what to do for China. So in this proposal, we can see there are always take emphasis on culture, in cultural heritage, especially how to develop traditional Chinese culture into the new one. So to keep them aligned, China has a national strategy for cultural heritage. And from the global level, we can see there are the same thing, how to promote cultural development. So as we have finished the enumeration of international workstation of UNESCO chair. So we've met the goal of sustainable development. So we can see there are 17 goals. And there are some, just like the SDG 4, number 4, is focused on quality education. And number 15 is focused on protecting urban heritage. And number 17 is focused on global partnership. So we can see heritage as a kind of capital. It's a creative capital, something just can empower the community, spark a new idea, and bring people together. So this is my English public paper in 2019. We just give the core concept of creative capitals. And there are 3 contents of creative capital. First one is a relationship capital. The second one is a cultural capital, and the third one is a symbolic capital. And from the special level, we can have 3 levels: everyday practice, and institution practice, and modernity, and aesthetic history practice. There's a theme work to how to promote the cultural heritage into creative capitals. So, and how to use this to transform into a cultural production. So we can see the role of cultural heritage, especially match the SDGs. So the first one, I think, is a development resilience, and the second one is the social identity, and the next thing, the last thing is the fostering of public values. So what means for this? So I call the creative empowerment of cultural heritage means it aims to leverage innovative thinking and cutting-edge technologies to activate the deep-seated value of cultural heritage. It enables heritage to transmission from historic remains to seamless integration into a contemporary life and conventional framework, thereby revitalizing it and guaranteeing tangible social and economic benefits. So as we see the 3 kind of the four kinds of creative empowerment. So we call this the vitality and the community participation and the stability. We have mapped this. So how to do for the creative empowerment? So there are four kind of different pathways for creative empowerment. Yeah, the first one, technology empowerment. The second one, integration into a daily life, and the fashion-driven. And the last one is the social connective enhancement. So let me say in detail, the technique pathway with technique empowerment to strengthen the protection, foundation and the sharing platform of culture heritage. So we use the technology to keep heritage safe and share it with the world, no matter where you are. So we can see there's some very popular, important case. So this comes from Dunhuang Academy. So Dunhuang is a very famous culture heritage site. And maybe 20 years ago, this institute built the digital Dunhuang project. And the Dunhuang Academy digitalization 300 ancient caves with 3D scanning and blockchain. So this reduces physical damage and lets anyone explore them online. And another case is Yungang craters, another very famous heritage site. For digitalized tool, now you can walk through the Buddha's art caves from your phone or computer anywhere on Earth. So there are so many things just like this. We can utilize the digital technology in the online, and we call the cloud exhibition. And the second pathway is the lifestyle pathways, how to promote the cultural heritage into daily life. We turn old traditional into things people use daily. So heritage isn't just in museum, it's in your home or office. So we can see transformation heritage into modern day necessities integrated into urban living, practicing, and the protection and safeguarding of world's culture and natural heritage. So there's a Hubei province, Jinzhou. We can see there are some very meaningful brand of Jinzhou Chu lifestyle. So it can show something in daily life for the local people and for tourism. And in Hainan province, the Li ethnic group's traditional crafts like brocade, colorful wave cloth, maybe the similar of patika, and platter, and made into clothing and tableware. Workshop in rural and urban area teach skills and over 300 years. Yeah. And we can see there is a very young generation just use this workshop, how to translate the daily life, and know that. Yeah. The number 3, the fashion pathway, making heritage trendy to US. Yeah. I think the young generation take part in this transformation event is very important things. This is very popular. And the 4th, the social media pathway spreading heritage globally. Yes, we can use some online, some Douyin or TikTok, some intouchable culture heritage partner initials support so many young person to translate this. There's so many different, just like this. Or this very popular exhibition in Jiangxi province. So the last, I just 1 minute give my advice for Indonesia. So first thing, I think, occur the goals of heritage preservation and build a symbiotic system integrating culture, heritage, and community life. Yes, we can join on some experience of Jinzhou Hainan's experience, integrate Indonesia's intangible cultural heritage and such as batika, wine clinic, and traditional wood carving into the culture and creative district, tourism attraction, and community service. And the third advice, implement the goal of quality education and create an integrational transmission model of technology and fashion. Yeah, how to combine. So we can advise F, B, I. F means fashion, B brand, I means innovation. So the third, leverage a partnership goal to build a global collaboration and a local adaptation share platform. So this our international workshop station I want to do, plays a very important platform, and we can take this great threat of Indonesia into the global market. Yeah, under the last advice, strengthening policy cooperation of the nation to establish or safeguard mechanisms for core concept and key goal. Yes, we think it's very important the philosophy of culture heritage development. So what you look at this, how to become a result of your daily life for shape the future of our country, of our younger generation. So Indonesia has everything it needs to do the same, and yes, have to do much better than China. So we can learn from each other. So you have the culture, artisan, and the passion. So we hope we can do something how to promote the culture heritage into the next generation, into daily life, into the global society. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Hardy. A very insightful presentations, very short time. Ya, mohon izin untuk sedikit menyimpulkan hasil dari presentasi Prof. Hardy, dari poin-poin yang bisa saya pahami, bahwa beliau menjelaskan bagaimana Tiongkok mengembangkan model pemberdayaan kreatif warisan budaya secara umum melalui 4 jalur, yakni teknologi, gaya hidup, fashion, dan konektivitas sosial. Beliau menggambarkan bagaimana digitalisasi, salah satunya tadi dicontohkan di kota Tunghang, ada digital Tunghang dan rekonstruksi 3D, tadi judulnya Yungkang Grotus, mohon koreksi kalau saya salah. Bagaimana itu dinyatakan dan melindungi aset budaya sekaligus membuka akses global. Nah, di tingkat komunitas, beliau mengembangkan produk gaya hidup berbasis estetika tradisional yang menciptakan ruang baru bagi partisipasi publik dan regenerasi keterampilan. Nah, kolaborasi lintas sektor juga memperkuat identitas budaya tersebut, misalnya melalui media sosial dan perdagangan digital yang memperluas jangkauan warisan budaya yang memungkinkan interaksi global yang sifatnya partisipatif. Pengalaman dari Prof. Hardy dari studi kasus di Tiongkok ini memberikan pengalaman dan inspirasi bagi kita untuk membangun ekosistem pewarisan budaya berbasis teknologi melalui jalur pendidikan, komunitas-komunitas kreatif, dan tentu saja kemitraan internasional yang berkelanjutan. Demikian kiranya poin yang coba disampaikan oleh Prof. Hardy tadi. Prof. Hardy, excuse me. Prof. Yong, allow me to invite you to be seated on the stage for the discussion session. Yeah. We go on to the second speaker. Yes, we will continue to the second speaker later, and then after that we conclude the discussion session. Ya, kita akan lanjutkan dengan speaker kedua, baru nanti kita sesi diskusi ya, Bapak Ibu. For the second speaker, we have Dr. He Yifei. Please, Dr. He Yifei. Eh, Dr. He Yifei adalah peneliti budaya visual, inovasi material dan pendidikan seni. Beliau merupakan visiting fellow di Peking University dan honorary fellow di University of Edinburgh. Dan beliau memimpin proyek nasional terkait budaya etnis, pendidikan seni digital, serta publikasi internasional dalam desain dan pendidikan kreatif. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Dr. He Yifei. Dr. He Yifei, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really my honor to be here sharing some of my thoughts, and the great congratulations on the great UB UNESCO working station established today. And my topic will focusing more on the venue creativity and in relation to the digital heritage. Yeah, I was sharing some of the numbers or data first. So you can see here, as the first global report on the cultural policy in the 2025 provides some of the core data. As you can see here, large budget gap between developed and developing regions based on the cultural industry and the cultural innovation, and including some gender in creativity and AI disruption challenge included. And yeah, the storm comes. So I want to say that the culture is more than entertainment, it's how we understand the world and each other. You can see some of the milestone like documents in relation to the cultural policy. As you can see here, for example, in the 1982, the first UNESCO World Conference on the Cultural Policy broadened the definition of the culture to encompasses the set of distinctive spiritual, material, intellectual, and emotional features, and including as characterized society or social group. And it turning to the 2015 and 2020, the World Conference on the Cultural Policies and Sustainable Developments reframed and highlighted the culture and the arts education again. And in the 2022, the UNESCO World Report on the Cultural Policy that I mentioned, titled Cultural, the Missing SDG, mentioned more than several elements in relation with the post-2030 agenda. Why I'm sharing this? I want to show you some of the background of the policy backup that related to the work that I'm working with. I won't extend here too much. So it doesn't work. I need the slides. Yeah, no. It's yeah. So I'm working. Yeah. So I'm working with the team of the BIFT, the Beijing Institution of Fashion Technology, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Research Group. They have established for more than 10 years practice around the cultural heritage innovation. And we have a project towards the AIGC, the Tuanhua pattern. As you can see here, Professor Shang mentioned a little bit about the Dunhuang Mogao cave. There are some different patterns from the early Tang Dynasty to the mid and the later dynasty that you can see the differences here. So we're based on the So based on that Huanhua pattern, we have some different kind of using of the digital tools. For example, the stable diffusion and Midjourney, etc. So you can see some of the patterns here. So there are some steps I will show you later. My point is that it's not only that a tool that can transfer a pattern into a digital one, but it's also transfer the ways that we view a kind of data, and also we view the cultural, especially the transcultural. So from the tool perspective, it's shaped or moved the right perspective, especially the rise of access to cultural and the participation rights also, and especially the creative or innovative rights into the processes. So you can see here some of the stages. So the stages one, you will telling the model, no matter what kind of model, to construct a kind of geometric framework of the pattern. So as you can see on the right hand, so just telling it the logic of the pattern and the shapes first, and then you can have a kind of mid-like cross rigid system. So you can spell like a cake, as you can to put it as 8 spare or like 6 or like even 12, based on what you need or what kind of like the stage 2 and 3, then you will tell the model to, based on that kind of framework, to put in more like, for example, the pattern, like loader patterns, or like different flower, and as you can add to it, and also the decoration elements you can based on that. So you can see like different 3 types. And especially the above, as you can see, the Qinghua Ci like mixed with the pattern. So that's the AIGC promotes that you can use. Suggested is quite practical, and is a good way to start. It's not that hard, but it can give you some easier access into a kind of relation with pattern design, or like AIGC model to, as you can see, it's really like stunning, the result. And the stage 4 and 5, you were adding more like narratives into it, to telling the model what kind of color do you want, what kind of like system or like detailed shapes all together to give a kind of context. And 4 and 5 still, and it can change into totally different like levels. So you can use like different color in relation to different like psychological like meaning in different cultural. I'm not sure what like red means here, but I think it should be like some like fire, or like more emotional color. For example, the white, the black, all related to different like cultural backgrounds you can use to imply. Yeah, so you can see like, so the above right above that corner, that one is combined with the Dunhuang cave with the pattern. And you can see some like neat, like above the right, the neat like sweater like patterns all together with a visual language you can see here. So it's kind of mixed acquire or like necessity if you want to design with. So the pattern is just the foundation that you can play with. You can adding more like elements and context if you want to engage with, to play with the model. So that's some of the outcomes that in the past 10 years that we're working on different applications. For example, the exhibitions, the live performance, and some like souvenirs design, different kind of design products. So the point that I want to point out is not only that the pattern design, but still the data life cycle, like from the data life cycle, from the planning collection to make a kind of archive of the data of a pattern and moving to the theoretical analyze into like, as you can see here, I won't like read everything. But the point is not only the data life style or circle, it's also the cultural development or integration into that circle when we design. So as I said before, like it breaks in the processes, it breaks the rights to the cultural and knowledge exercise of the data, and also the cultural understanding of the interpretation of a kind of visual language, including the oversight and the sharing rights. And above is the visual cultural, like Panofsky's analyzing of ecological meaning of a kind of image or kind of pattern. So all in relation, I want to mention this is like AIGC tool is not only a kind of tool that makes things or design easier, but also changing the sharing processes and understanding of cultural innovation. Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. That is kind of holistic venue transferring, crossing the culture. So, like from the cultural dimension, the economic dimension, and the social dimension all together, to redesign the processes of design at some point. And there are some recommendations that I really want to say something. So through the project that comes out from a national commissioned project by the Chinese government, this Tuanhua design. So through that, we are thinking about to have some changes from the top level on the strategical level and also the industrial level. As I listed here, I want to point out, for example, to participate in the UNESCO Declaration on Digital Cultural Heritage Protect, like revision altogether. And for example, the develop AIGC cultural application quality assistance standards altogether, maybe. And on the institutional level, maybe to have a kind of partnership with the educational institutions to develop cultural data or like the data gene, like cultural gene database altogether. And on the user level, to have a kind of lower technical barriers to make kind of, for example, to suggest a kind of UNESCO toolkits to help like different countries have lower like access to the technology or like online situations. So yeah, that's the end. Thanks so much, and hopefully, yeah. And really looking forward for more like collaborations with both sides, China and the Indonesian universities. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ho. Please be seated close to Prof. Hardy. Thank you very much for the insightful presentations. Hadirin sekalian, mohon izin untuk sedikit menyampaikan poin presentasi Dr. He Yifei. Secara garis besar, beliau menjelaskan bagaimana teknologi digital digunakan untuk melestarikan pola tradisional dengan case study di Tuanhua dalam rangka untuk pembangunan budaya keberlanjutan. Ada beberapa dan lingkungan. Dan yang terakhir beliau menawarkan 4 strategi kebijakan, ya, termasuk di dalamnya ada standarisasi metadata, kemudian pembangunan ekosistem data budaya, termasuk juga pemberdayaan publik melalui penggunaan media digital. Beliau juga menyampaikan kemungkinan untuk berkolaborasi terkait dengan gagasan-gagasan yang beliau sampaikan tadi. Baik, demikian presentasi dari pembicara kedua kita. Berikutnya izinkan saya untuk mengundang pembicara ketiga dengan profil yang sedikit berbeda dari pembicara sebelumnya. So for the next speaker, I'd like to invite Ibu Shu Lingjia. Ibu Shu Lingjia.
许良佳女士。
Tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Ibu Shu Lingjia. Beliau adalah seniman muda, seniman muda yang berfokus pada seni partisipatif dalam pembangunan desa. Beliau juga telah mendirikan New Observation Art and Culture Organization dan aktif mengembangkan proses berbasis budaya lokal, proyek kreatif berbasis budaya lokal. Karya-karya beliau mengeksplorasi relasi desa dan kota serta mendorong revitalisasi budaya melalui kolaborasi komunitas.
大家好，
Silakan, please.
请开始。
尊敬的各位老师，大家好，我叫徐良佳，然后很开心可以被邀请来参加这一次的分享会。然后我接下来即将分享的题目是这一个乡村建筑遗产的空间重构，以中国广东周前艺术公社为例。我接下来的分享的内容呢，主要是分这3个部分。第一个部分呢是中国乡村建设的困境以及艺术相见的一个价值。然后第二部分呢，主要是分享我们的团队在周前艺术公社3年以来做的这么一个项目。然后呢，里面分别有4个空间，把它归纳成4个空间去讲。然后呢，第3个部分就是结论以及展望。 这里用了3张图来表示我们目前的一个困境。第一个是我国的城镇化呢，仍在快速的发展。然后呢，在1985年到现在的40年间呢，我们国家的那个自然村落的数量是减少了大概约150个。然后呢，行政村落的话是减少了大概50个。然后从1971年开始，我国因为国家的政策以及经济的因素吧，就是年轻人快速的向那个城镇化去流动，意味着年轻生命力的一个消失。然后呢，第3个部分呢，讲的是美感的消失。我在图片上展示的这个图片，第3个图片，它是一个建筑，就是我们坐落在北京东郊的这么一个天子大酒店，包括四川的那个五粮液的那种酒瓶楼。 这一系列的建筑设计呢，其实就是单纯的将一个具有很日常的一个物件，然后呢直观的放大，然后形成了一个所谓的建筑的一个设计。因此，我们这种艺术相见的团队呢，就这种社会现象呢，研究出一套适用于乡村建设的一种方式，主要呢就是在强调乡村关系的一个修复，以及传统的这么一个礼俗的观念。 生活方式的一个延续，然后强调呢，现在设计呢是具有当代审美能力，以温和的方式去推动一个多主体的一种协调，共同去恢复这么一个乡村的家园。在这里呢，我引用了曲岩老师在2016年青田范式里面提出的9大关系当中去归纳成这4个空间。 第一个是生活空间，第2个是社会空间，第3个是生态空间，第4个是生产空间。然后接下来呢，我就要介绍我们团队在周前艺术公社这3年以来做的这么一个项目的一个展示。首先先介绍一下周前艺术公社的一个地理位置哈，它是坐落在广东省韶关市始兴县城南镇周前村， 是位于广东的一个北部，属于一个客家的一个建筑。然后呢，粤北的客家的传统村落呢，它主要建筑的主要组成部分呢，是4个状态。第一个呢是组团，第二个是散点，第三个是带状，第四个是面状。所以呢，周前艺术公社是属于面状这个类型。然后呢，周前艺术公社呢，目前是国家级的古村落的一个景观遗产，它具有悠久的一个历史。然后呢，周前艺术公社呢，最早期的时候，在乾隆年间，也就是1771年的时候，它是被当地人集资，然后变成了一个集市，然后慢慢演变成一个村落。好，周前艺术公社的原址呢是一个小学，然后呢，小学大概是90年代的时候使用的，后期呢就一直荒废了。然后我们通过去对周前艺术公社的一个改造，然后呢来实现我们推进这个村落空间的更新以及活化这个目的。然后呢，周前艺术公社小学它是占地3000平，然后呢，主要的建筑呢是坐北朝南的一个矩形的一个围合的一个建筑，它内有朴树跟樟树有10余棵。在这里我放了3张照片，分别是改造前、改造中跟改造后的这么一个展示。我们的设计理念呢，主要是注重它的一个在地性，然后呢，立足于村落的空间的布局以及和谐统一，根植于村落历史文化的有序的传承，然后强调人的归属感，建立人与建筑那种密切的精神联系。分别可以归纳成这4个关键词，那就是树屋共生，然后呢，艺术相见、古塔遗迹，以及对于设计这个理念的天圆地方。第一个讲的是生态空间，主要呢就是这个院内它的植被，它错落有步的呢，就是大部分都是朴树、樟树跟乌桕，其中最中间的那一棵呢就是乌桕。然后呢，它已经有200多年的一个历史了。然后呢，我也可以看到我们从始至终都保留了全部的树木，然后呢，采用了一个以树屋共生的这么一个建筑的理念，对屋顶也有了很大的一个改造。然后呢，这个屋顶的改造呢，主要是使用了一个新材料的一个介入，就是强调一种就地性与创新性同时的体现。因为在我们入口的这个大厅处，我们的那个屋顶还是采用了原来的传统的那种屋瓦。然后呢，传统的手法去营造它这个屋顶，然后让树穿过了这个屋顶，然后呢，达到了树屋共生这么一个概念。但是其他的大部分的屋顶呢，我们都采用了一个当代的比较耐用的一个材料，然后呢，去营造它整个氛围。在生活空间里面呢，主要是分成了这几个的空间。第一个是民间剧场，一个是美术馆，还有一个是那个教室，还有一个是图书馆，还有一个是茶寮。然后呢，这个民间美术馆呢，它是专门受众人群就是给村民，它会有定期的这么一个展演的一个活动。然后呢，乡村美术馆呢，我们在这里举办了第1届的摄影展。这个空间也是有利于让我们更多当代艺术家可以来到我们的乡村，做一系列的这么一个用当代的一个艺术作品来进行跟村落的一个对话。教室这个空间呢，主要就还是延续了之前，因为我们周前艺术公社的前身它是有小学的这么一个功能嘛，所以呢，我们就在这里做了一个小学，方便呢他们做一个乡村的一个研学，学习一个非遗的课程。图书馆这个就相对来说花了比较多的时间，因为图书馆的以这个确定好这个空间的产生呢，是因为它整个周前艺术公社的这个整个村落古村落它是没有图书馆的。然后在我们的团队在做前面的村史的一个调研，也就是田野调查的过程中呢，也了解到村民其实需要有这么一个图书馆的一个功能。然后呢，我们就通过他们的一些了解跟他们的需求，然后我们分别把里面的书籍也进行了一个很好的一个归纳，有给小孩子读的一些小学的一些课本啊，也有老人看的一些故事会， 然后还有就是一些我们作为艺术相见，想要让别人看到我们整个艺术相见的一个过程。然后茶寮的功能呢，主要是做了一个东西方的一个区别，给予更多的一个空间去服务村民。生产空间分别是文创商店、手工作坊跟民宿，还有咖啡厅。在上个月我们刚落地做完了这个文创商店的这么一个农产品的一个改造，这是我们给周前艺术公社设计的一个 IP 的形象。这是一个手工作坊，也是让更多的小孩在这里可以手动的去体验他们自己的一个个性化的一个课程。咖啡厅，还有以及民宿，改变了当地的一个生活体验。我们将这个文化的创意空间命名为周前艺术公社。周前是注重地方性，艺术呢是注重关系的一个构建，然后公社呢是代表着一个包容性，然后希望每一个主体它都可以以适当的方式去参与进来，有自己的身份。然后在这里总结出3个它主要的一个关系，那就是本地村民、政府领导以及他的这个相见团队。然后构建这个多主体的一个关系，其实就是我们在一次一次的沟通当中和去解释，达到共同的一个目的。周前艺术公社做完以后呢，有很多的村民来参与，然后呢，成为他们一个歇息的一个地方，年轻人拍摄的一个地方。在2023年的8月份开幕，我们做了一个开幕式，以及11月份召开了一个国际的会议，让周前频频出现在自媒体上。这是村民的一个参与，就是当我们周前艺术公社落地以后呢，他们也是自发性的想要去做一些商业的空间，来去跟我们的这个整个空间去进行一个营造整个村落这么一个计划。本地的小学呢，一共有3所，然后所有的小学都跟我们周前艺术公社呢，就开展了多次的这么一个非遗的教学的一个课程，包括了当地的传统的一个拓印以及当地的一个舞蹈。然后这个是我们在这个空间里面产生的一些活动，目前当然未来我们还是在持续的更新。这个是周前艺术公社的村民在我们做完这个空间以后，他们自发性的恢复了中断了一个近20年的新年舞火龙的一个活动。所以对应这4个空间呢，就总结出这4个相对应的一些话，就是生态空间呢是要对古村落要有情怀，然后生活空间呢是要对村落有一定的开发的经验，然后呢，生产空间呢是具有强大的一个运营的前置能力，社会空间呢是产生共振。艺术乡村的文化的遗产价值其实在于链接以及转化。链接是链接过去与未来，让古老的文化基因在当地的社会中去得到一个新生。然后转化呢是转化一个城乡的一个边界，让城市的便捷以及舒适注入到浓厚的感情的乡村里边。所以它的成功其实可能不在于那种建设了多少空间，吸引了多少游客，而是真正的把一个有感情的一个乡村路线持续不断的去以一个文化活动的方式去铺开。在这个过程中，待了这3年，我们很明显的能感觉到一个公共建筑的一个空间以及就地的一个艺术事件，其实对村民的意识是有唤醒的，而且他们是非常接纳我们的到来。乡村复兴是一个持续的一个过程，当然未来我们还是希望它可以更多的一个主体的一个互动，让它可以成为链接高效的一个地方，然后城市乡村双向互动的一个交流平台，从而呢去激活100年的趋势跟复兴传统的村落。好，我的分享就到这里结束，谢谢大家。
谢谢徐良佳女士，请上台就坐，等待一会儿的讨论环节。Tentang presentasi Syulangja. Presentasi ini mengisikan bagaimana sebuah desa kuno di Guangdong direvitalisasi melalui pendekatan artistik rural construction. Beliau memulai dari masalah hilangnya desa alami, vitalitas hidup, serta keindahan arsitektur akibat renovasi yang tidak sensitif terhadap konteks lokal. Melalui pembutuhan Zhouqian Art Community, ruang ekologis, sosial, hidup, dan produksi dirancang ulang untuk memulihkan hubungan manusia dengan sejarah alam dan komunitas. Renovasi sekolah 2 menjadi pusat seni dan budaya, memicu aktivitas lokal seperti pendidikan, seni, galeri, perpustakaan, dan festival. Kolaborasi antara seniman, aparat desa, pekerja bangunan, dan warga membentuk proses negosiasi sosial yang memperkuat kohesi komunitas. Kebangkitan ritual tradisional seperti tarian naga api menunjukkan pilihnya identitas spiritual desa. Program ini menjadi model revitalisasi desa yang menekankan keterhubungan, dialog, dan pembaruan budaya secara berkelanjutan. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Bu Aisyah atas rangkumannya. Kami lanjutkan ke pembicara keempat. I would like to invite Professor Huang Zhixiong.
黄志雄教授，请上台，请进行你的分享。
Profesor Huang adalah seorang desainer eksterior dan juga ketua departemen di Fuzhou University Xiamen Institute of Arts and Crafts. Beliau adalah ahli dalam desain komunikasi visual dan aktif memimpin beberapa organisasi profesional, serta memiliki peran nasional dalam hal pendidikan dan pengembangan desain. Karya-karya beliau mendorong inovasi budaya dan pendidikan desain. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Professor Huang to start the presentation.
黄教授，你可以开始你的分享，谢谢。
好，尊敬的校长、各位专家、各位老师、各位同学，大家下午好。非常荣幸能受邀参加本次的论坛。我是来自中国福州大学的黄志雄。这次的我的报告的题目是解码地方文化基因文创产品的叙事赋能与设计转化。因为我是从事设计实践的一位这个教授， 所以本次的这个报告呢，也是以我们的团队在福建省的一个实践的这些项目，跟大家去探讨，文化创意产业在未来的路径和发展的可能。那也希望跟大家去探讨，共同去思考那些沉淀于地方、潜藏于日常的一个文化，如何通过设计的力量，去转化为能够与当代人，深度对话，或者是引起共鸣、情感共鸣的文创产品。那我认为说，真正成功的文创产品，绝非是对文化符号的简单复制或者是移植，而应该是不是简单的一个移植，而应该是从文化资源到情感资产的一种创造性的转化。它的核心驱动力是叙事啊。下面我将结合了我们的一些实践，跟大家分享一下我们在这个过程当中的一些设计的一些方法体系啊，叙事设计的一个方法体系。我们都知道，文化基因并非是一个表层的一种文化符号，它更是一个地方文化中那些最稳定、最核心、最具传承力的一种这个信息单元啊，它包含了符号、纹样、器物的形态，更是那些看不见的思维方式、价值观念以及情感模式等等。它是一个文化身份的一个源代码啊。具体来说，这是我们福建省非遗的一些当代的这个现状。也有一些木偶剧，有一些拍胸舞啊，有一些工艺美术的这样的一个非遗的这个产品，也是一个非常丰富的具有丰富的这个非遗文化的一个地方啊，非遗资产的一个地方。那我们对于这个文化基因来说，它应该具有3个这个关键的属性。第一个是历史性，因为文化基因承载的是一种时空的一种记忆，是地方身份认同的一个根本的来源。无论是中国福建的海狮文化，还是说我们印尼的爪哇的这个宫廷文化，或是巴厘岛的这种宗教仪式体系，它的一个深层的文化价值都超越了具象的符号。那延续性呢，它是谈的是这种文化基因的一个传递呢，并不是一种静态的，而是在跨时代的一个互动和重构中去进行持续演化的包括了这个传统艺术生活方式、节庆礼仪、工艺体系等等，它构成了地方文化的一个多维出口。第三是它是可转译的它是可以被提取出来，进行重组，然后进行编码，再通过新的一种媒介、新的设计以及技术的手段去重新去激活，成为文创产品的当中具有连接性、差异性以及创新性的一个核心的一个这个资源。这个也跟大家分享一下，这是来自于我们福建的这个泉州泉州也是今年跟我们那个马朗一样的，获得了联合国这个教科文组织创意城市网络的美食之都、世界美食之都的称号。这是现在在泉州的一个这个街景，西街的一个街景以及我们在当代的这个非遗文化的这个传承，在当代的时空性的这个传承，以及我们的转译的一些方式。那谈到了这个谈到了这么多的一个这个 文化基因的内容，那我们如何去进行一个设计的转移？那这是我们团队在实践的过程当中，其实一直在考虑的一个问题啊。就是我们画了这样的一个图表，谈的是事跟物，就是对于内容的创造跟载体之间的关系，其实解决的是它们之间两者是一种是一个综合交错的一个过程啊。内容的这个设计聚焦于这个事物本身啊，聚焦于事物这个。载体的设计则关乎于这种对物的这种表现啊，因此在这个过程当中，我们去设定了这样的一个环节啊。另外一个就是说，这个叙事设计它本身有3个特点：主题性、时空性以及互动性的这个特征。那主题性是提升文化的内涵，让这个产品有意义；第二个是时空性，是强化了这个故事的一个穿透力，让产品有了温度。互动性的创造的是一种参与式的体验，让产品有了一个链接，跟现代的一个链接。这是我们建构的一个文创产品设计的一个转化模型。那在这个转化模型当中，我们是它的一个这个核心是一个设计转译的一个创造性的一个枢纽，它不是单向的。它要连接的是地方文化以及这个文化以及这个目标用户的一种双向的一种对话的一个过程啊，所以我们希望说从文化的供给当中去提取的是文化基因当中去提取了元素，以及对用户的这个期待中去洞察一个先机，然后去挖掘用户的这个需求。让两者在这个实现一种融合以及升华啊，最后通过设计转译去物化成一个文创产品，这是我们建构的这样的一个转化的一个模型啊。那接下来这个我们看一下，这是我们在福建这个对在地文化的一种转译，然后做了一些设计的这个项目，有妈祖文化。是来自于莆田的一个信俗文化，有这个鼓浪屿的这个在地文化，有海狮海狮的这个文化，泉州的海狮文化的一些这个应用。那因为这次特别这个。来到印尼，我想说，想跟大家分享一个跟印尼有这种有点关联的这个项目，加跟文创的这个项目。具体的这个来说一下这种方法。为什么说跟印尼有关系？因为这是陈嘉庚先生，是这个中国近代一个近现代著名的这个中国的一个爱国的华侨。领袖，也是企业家、教育家，他的一生都跟东南亚与印尼有了一种深刻的一种联系比如说这个1942年，他在避难到印尼的爪哇写成了这个《南侨回忆录》，所以我也今天想说分享一下这样的一个案例那我们从这个案例当中，从文化的这个从表现符号到精神基因的这个提取这样的一个过程，我们把这个我们认为说，嘉庚先生，这是陈嘉庚先生，他一生都是在亲资助学兴学，支援抗战。我们的中国的毛泽东主席曾为他题写了这个华侨旗帜、民族光辉。他所创办的集美学村这个是集美学村，还有厦门大学，创办了2个这个学校。这个建筑风格是非常有特征的。在我们这个称之为带斗笠穿西装带斗笠，就是下面建筑的下面一部分是西方的这个建筑， 结构，上面是中国传统的这个屋顶的这个结构，所以很有特点，它称之为穿西装戴斗笠。那如果说我们仅仅在文创开发的时候，将这个建筑的符号直接印在这个文创产品上面，就难以与当代的这个人建立起一种深层次的一种连接。所以我们在需要去挖掘它的一个深刻的精神内核，比如说忠公诚义、勤俭创新，这是来自于对加根先生的一生的一种精神的一种凝练啊。在这个构建的过程当中，我们也做了这样的一个视觉的这个设计啊，应用了这个建筑跟加根的一些它的一些言论或者进行了一个 IP 的这个构建，场景的这个构建。那有了这些基本的这个要素的从符号到精神的转换之后，精神内核的转换之后，我们是基于这个精神根基去构建能够与当代人共同形成共鸣的一种叙事框架所以从3个方面进行了一个设计的这个赋能，就是从意义上面的这个进行叙事的赋能，意义上面的赋能，情感上面的赋能，以及体验上面的这个赋能在这个让我们的这个转换的这个产品能够具有精神内核它不是一个纪念品，它更是一种价值的一个载体能够让我们的故事直抵人内心，避免一种说教式的一种宣传，通过情感的触点去建立起共情的建立一种共情，同时让用户在这个使用当中，他能够活在故事里头，他有可参与性、可体验性的这个方式，让文化能够自然的这个进行渗透。那这里头是我们在构建它的加根，因为加根先生的他的一生是一个具有一个他有很多的发生了很多的故事，他的这个整个的历程一个整个的一个历程，我们需要去从这么庞杂的一个系统当中去提取出来，所以去构建了通过了叙事主题、叙事事件以及文创产品跟它的不同阶段的这样的一个构架维度的一个构建去打造了一个文创产品的一个内容那在转化的过程当中，从设计实践的这个角度来看，我们从3个方式，从形态叙事，通过产品自己讲故事，以及行为叙事，还有情感叙事，我分别以3个项目跟大家这个分享一下。一个是这个形态叙事，我们通过了一个这个产品是其实文创产品是什么？是一个南洋这边的水果干，包括了芒果干等等这类这个来自于南洋的这个产品通过一个包装的一个设计，像一个火车穿越时空的一个概念。左边是一个南洋的这个加根先生在南洋所建的这个学校，跟在中国大陆所建的学校之间的一个对比中间是一个下南洋。这个我今天也跟我们这个来的同事在说，我这次也是下南洋因为我们的前辈们也是从福建会到到印尼到新加坡、马来西亚福建人很多到这边OK。还有一个情感叙事，这一组这边一组是一个地方的这个文化，就是下南洋的时候，一般都会亲戚都会给他一个这个去做一个祝福所以我们叫做送顺风的一个仪式送顺风的一个仪式。然后我们也给它开发成一个产品那下面主要讲一下这个下南洋的这个桌游的一个游戏的棋子它是以加根先生的这个南洋创业的这个经历去采用一种开放性的一种情节设置、游戏机制，让玩家在沉浸中去体验游戏的过程当中去感受 华人华侨在漂洋过海、白手起家到进行实业的这个铸就辉煌的一个历史过程，还原了这样的一个加根先生的创业故事，那更能够让这个玩家在决策当中去体验这样的一个做出决策或者是博弈，通过这样的一个方式去让用户去体悟到闽南人的一种爱拼才会赢的这种拼搏的底色，同时呢，这个游戏打破了历史文化传播当中的一种枯燥的一种模式，以更有趣味性的互动式的这种方式去呈现所以它其实这个作品其实有3个很典型的这个特点第一个是让玩家是扮演而不是旁观，第二个是从历史被阅读转化为被体验的一个过程，第三是加根精神是通过游戏来实现一种代际的一个传播这些是我们所设定的游戏的一些规则以及产品的这个里头的这些包装这是构建的这个加根文创的整个系列多维度的去进行了一个构建那最后我们谈一下整个就是我们始终秉持的就是深挖文化基因到构建核心的叙事，最后实现一种多维的转化。我们希望是实现的是一种可感知、可互动、可体验的文创产品让用户不仅仅是在消费一件产品，更是参与一个故事体验一种价值，共享一道精神。所以这正是我们所谈的叙事赋能设计的魅力所在。好，我的分享到此结束，谢谢大家。
谢谢黄教授，请台上落座。Presentasi Prof. Huang menenangkan pendidikan narasi dalam mendesain produk budaya dengan studi khusus Bapak Chen Jiageng. Prof. Huang menunjukkan bahwa desain naratif harus menggali gem budaya, bukan hanya simbol visual, tetapi nilai-nilai seperti kejujuran, ketentuan, patriotisme, dan inovasi. Materi menggambarkan perjalanan hidup Bapak Chen Jiageng yang menjadi tulang punggung konsep budaya, lalu diterjemahkan menjadi kerangka naratif yang memberi makna, kehangatan emosional dan koneksi bagi pengguna. Modal desain menggabungkan budaya lokal, kebutuhan pengguna dan inovasi kreatif dalam spiral yang saling menguatkan. Narasi kemudian diwujudkan dalam 3 lapis, bentuk yang menceritakan pengalaman yang berfungsi sebagai alur cerita, dan emosi yang membangkitkan memori kolektif. Materi ini menunjukkan bagaimana produk budaya dalam menjadi medium nilai, bukan sekadar cendera mata. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Huang. We are now moving on to the 4th speaker. I'd like to invite Professor Apichart Intravisit to step forward on stage. Profesor Apichart Intravisit adalah pakar komunikasi dan pariwisata dari Thailand. Beliau adalah dosen senior di Assumption University dan Direktur Eksekutif Royal Bangkok Symphony Orchestra. Beliau melatih berbagai institusi besar dan meneliti perilaku wisatawan, branding, komunikasi lintas budaya, serta tren industri kreatif. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Professor Apichart Indravisit. Professor Apichart, please.
Thank you. Sawadee krap. July this year, the Peking University brought us, meaning Dr. Kim, Professor Nadia, myself, to a very small village called Yaoli in the little town of Huzhou in the Zhejiang province. And from then, we have experienced a century-old village that becomes alive with arts and culture. And with the participation by the youth, that experience helped me to look into the very similar magnitude of arts and culture activities to help sustain both tangible and intangible heritage of a community. So that comes the idea of Kok Gret, the island that I would like to present to you. And that is the case I'd like to bring to our discussion here. This 300 years old village, even though it has been existing for a very long time, but it was not until 1986 when the whole community becomes alive with the interests of residents and tourists. As a result of the Visit Thailand years in 1987, from then on, the Kok Gret has received a lot of attention. And until today, there has been over 200 research studies on the Kok Gret. However, this presentation aims not to give another research. Rather, I would like to compile all the ideas from lots of people. Now, when you see Kok or the island here, this is the whole thing that we used to have the river running this shape. And until 300 years ago, there was a shortcut. And the shortcut really helps to create an island here. Now, what interests us here is that, sorry, this is the old map. On your right-hand side is the oldest one, created by French people. And we could also saw some island here. This ethnic group is called Mon, M-O-N. And if you know the Mon story, the Mon people, mostly they are Buddhist, and they brought Buddhists to the country some 1,000 years ago. Mon used to be quite big and very influential in arts and war. So this is sort of the landmark of the Mon, even though the architectures are not really Mon architectures, except the slant pagoda or the stupa. Now, who is Mon? As you could see from the stone bas relief, the Mon people have been around for over 1,000 years. However, they never stand out. If we look at the map on your left-hand side, which is Burmese or the Myanmar map, the Myanmar map indicates the Mon in this area. This is how Mons came to the influence here. Now, the Mon people really appear themselves in the very short and the red sarong or the longji. Thank you. Now, why Mon has left a lot of influence, and why do we have to talk about the Mon? Even though now they don't claim themselves Mon, they may say that I am Thai, but it has been through the history, particularly in the Bangkok history for over 247 years, that the Mon has been influential in war, strategy, and married into the royal family. And these are the people, like the old lady here, and she was very influential concubine to the reign of King Rama IV. We also have some, the Mon story, which has been created by the, some literature, some novelists, some 200 years ago, about the Mon story. And of course, the Mon choreography has been practiced and passed on through the generation. So there are some evidence that the Mon way of art has been more superior than any other types in this part of the country. So these are what we collected from the Mon influence. Mon are very good for the army and sources, and that was probably why we had a lot of quarrel with Burmese, because Mon tried to take side of one and take side of the other, flip the side all the time, and that was the cause of many, many wars in the past. Mon has been very good in the strategic planning, even though they are not really aggressive as Piu, which were the Burmese ethnic group. Mon has a lot of political purpose. Of course, political purpose of the Mon came through the palace, and the political of Mons also have some conspiration with the people in the court at all time. Mon has great artisanship. Mon are more known to be very collectivistic, very cohesive. And even though the country has received the Mon for over 300 years, Mon never lose their dialect. They have their own dialect. And now they have the adherence to Buddhism. They adapt themselves very well, and they have they've been known for their loyalty and adaptability. They have a unique livelihood, and of course, they're great at cooking. Now, I'm sorry, I have to show you this. This is the national flag of Mon, and it's still used today, even though they've never been seen in Thailand. But if you happen to go to the South Myanmar, the Mon and the swan is really synonymous to Mon, because everywhere the Mon are, you would see the swan and the red flag. Now, also the identity of the Mon could be seen by the stencil flag. This vertical flag is the festival flag that Mon people use. And as you could see, Hantawadi on the pink on the left side of this map, that is where the Mon people lived. And this is the map of the old Siam, some 300 years ago. And you could see the majority of the Mon are quite influential at that time. Now come to the Gokret. Gokret itself is known for the pottery and kiln owned to the Mon artisanship. Gokret is also known for the goods and service. We in the tourism industry really want to have the repercussion on the revival of the old-time delicacy, traditional massage or eatery or restaurant run by the Mon people and run by the descendant of the Mon. Here is one of the temples which is very well known, and it was built by one of the king some early 20th century. And this is to commemorate the grandmother or the great aunt of a king. And that really helps the Mon people feel connected to the royal family, because the whole style of the royal architectures were replicated in this area. And of course, to maintain that, the Mon will also demonstrate their artisanship in everywhere. At the foot of this picture, you could see a little bit of the demonstration of the old kiln. This old kiln is now in the museum of this temple. And the museum is a little bit kind of old-fashioned, but they did it as an education of people. What really is in our tourism and sustainability of Gogret? As you could see here, the main river goes from the north and then bend to the right and then go down. And the digging, when the new canal was dug, it came down to this area, and that cut short. In the old time, we have to travel this far, about 3 kilometers down to the river here. Now, the whole community seemed to be collected around here, and many wat. W-A-T, wat means the temples. And this is where you could see the pagoda here. And this is the narrow part where we could hop from Nontaburi to the temples down here. Now, I'd like you to bring to your attention that what we try to create for the tourism is we're concerned with the infrastructure, especially the infrastructure when it comes to the season of flood. It's really flood everything. And our faculty member here had witnessed the flood last week. We have the walkway all the way through the whole community for about 25 kilometers. We have a lot of piers that we're concerned with the erosion of the water. We have the bike route for the recreation, and we serve this as we want this to serve as a study field for the students. And they also emphasize the homestay. There are now currently 4 homestays, which are a little bit dilapidated because of the lack of the maintenance. Gogret also have some produces. These produces are we call the red tea, which is a herbal medicinal, and we have matad. Matad, or this kind of fruit itself, is almost like apple. We call them Sri Lankan apple or the Mon apple, which has a lot of the herbal medicinal use for their digestion, for the toxin, for the wounds, and of course, you know, for the gelatin, because it has some gelatin agent that could really help the intestinal problem. Now, these seems to be the whole native fruit and produces of Gogret. Gogret also known for these little things. One is the stem of this plant, which is called Norgala. It is a kind of the plant which goes like watercress. And the cooking of this Norgala itself could also be now preserved as an intangible cultural heritage. And it is known to be the unique dish of the country now, of the island. I'd like to show you this picture because it really demonstrates 7 areas. The 7 areas here are the villages. But why we have to be concerned with these 7 areas? Because they never get along well. And that is one of the problems in creating the tourism or arts in this community. Village number 6 and number 7 seems to be economical, wealthy, whereas the village 3 and village 4 are more deserted. So one of the things is that we need some political intervention. Now here is the whole outlook of these, the overview of the whole island here. And we could see that there are some assets that we could make them cohesive, especially on the intercultural, from the Buddhism to the mosque, and the arts of the, you know, the belief, the superstition, or some kind of the old temples. People like to enjoy it. They like the story of the old timers, but then again, they might lack some attitude. The other asset of this is the kiln. But then again, the kiln has the problem of the lack of interest the lack of the attitude to continue. And even though we set up some workshop, I think the whole island needs more of this product improvement. The one thing that we have never explored, or I would call the research gap, that is the use of the instrument. What I had in mind is that we would recreate some sound from the gamelan. Java knows very well on the gamelan, but this kind of the gamelan is very strange. This one is flat on the floor, but you could see the curve that is set up vertically, and that is very mesmerizing sound of the Mon gamelan. Now, the other thing is the activities or the play by the Mon people, which can be incorporated in the new way to create longevity of the activities here. Now, what I like to call here is the politics, because we have to look into who are really taking care of this island. The government, the central government by the Ministry of Culture and Ministry of Interior, these are the direct people who take care of them. But there are some provincial government like the district administration, sub-district administration, or the LAO, the local authorities who are more influential to each villages. There are still some tourism authority or the development agencies who have some kind of projects, the NGOs. So those people are really the key to the development of this island. Here are my proposals, the challenges to propose. I like to see some soundscape being recreated. The soundscape is very important because the Mon music has always been vanished. And if there would be some, the pride of the Mon will return. And of course, the younger people would try something new digitally. The geography needs some more of the repercussion, particularly the architectures, to sustain itself from the flood. The direction of the architecture by using AI are needed. We also have some impact on the social media, the establishment of arts and cultural learning. These are the people that Professor Sheng Yong met in August this year. And he had a little tiny school that really creates some learning, but it has been neglected to some extent. We have also the thing to think about the tourist experience via the intimacy, which is introduced by Metushi and Graf this year. I have added my reference here. And here, this is a little learning place, the only learning in this Mon village. I like to show this because this is really not being well taken care of. You could see the grass, you could see all the things, because there's only one village who cares for that. But the other 6 villages, they envy, and they don't really get along well. So somehow, we need people to take care of this and create some learning center that will really help them to keep the life of this Kokret going on. I have added my reference here with the 10 sites so that you could connect yourself with this, more of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Richard. Dari presentasi beliau, kita belajar beberapa poin penting, terutama terkait dengan isu etnis. Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian, di sebuah area, sebuah pulau bernama Kokret, di mana di sana tinggal etnis suku Mon. Beliau banyak menyorot mengenai konflik horizontal antar desa, begitu yang menjadi challenge atau tantangan bagi pengembangan wisata dan komodifikasi seni budaya untuk kepentingan kemajuan ekonomi dan pelestarian budaya. Tantangan utama yang disebutkan Profesor Richard, yang saya catat adalah terkait dengan konsistensi pemertahanan nilai-nilai otentisitas di suatu area, terutama berkaitan dengan etnisitas. Kemudian juga tentu saja yang tidak kalah penting adalah kolaborasi antar pemangku kepentingan yang menuntut adanya kebijakan politik sehingga bisa berkontribusi pada pengembangan seni, budaya, dan pemberdayaan komunitas. Baiklah, thank you very much, Professor Apichart. We now move on to the last speaker. Last but not least, I would like to invite Professor Si Boom Kim. Professor Si Boom Kim, please. Profesor Si Boom Kim adalah seorang tokoh penting dalam industri budaya Korea. Beliau adalah ahli manajemen seni dan kebijakan industri kreatif. Dan beliau pernah memimpin institusi akademik dan perusahaan-perusahaan kreatif, serta aktif dalam proyek nasional dan UNESCO. Karya-karya beliau memperkuat kebijakan budaya, pariwisata, dan pengembangan kekayaan intelektual selama lebih dari 3 dekade di Korea Selatan. Please welcome Professor Si Boom Kim.
Thank you. I'm Sibum from Korea, and I talk about how to promote using cultural resources. And actually, I just introduced very shortly about myself. And one of the things was in Boy Scout when I was in elementary school, and over 50 years I involved in the Scout. And you know how many Scouts in the world? 57 million. But in Indonesia, more than 30 million. So more than 60% of Scouts are in Indonesia. So if anybody wants to talk about the Scouts, please let me know. Okay, and after I studied business, I joined the Samsung and started my own 2 companies and consulting many different companies and governments. And also I involved in many activities of the local government as well as Chinese university, including Beijing University. And now, I'm here to talk about how to promote. And basically what I teach at the college is how to make money with the culture and arts. Well, I will talk about this, but it's very boring things. But so I will skip very fast, and I will take some one of the cases for you to share with together. Actually, Korea tourism industry, it was increased very fast last year, and actually the Vietnamese and Indonesians visited Korea very much. And this year we announced there are 8 factors about tourism in Korea, what we call spectrum. And I will just tell you one by one, and you can find out among 8 factors of tourism, 6 are directly related to cultural resources. So which means that cultural resources are the key element for tourism. Especially sustainable regional tourist effort, the local tourism industries are becoming more important than ever, and especially for the business and leisure travel. Actually, now that is a trend for the Korean tourist. So if you have some of the MICE business, which means a meeting, incentive, and exhibition, it will be much easier for you to attract tourists. In Korea, pet-friendly tourism becomes very strong at this moment. The people want to bring their own pet because they do not want to let pets at home. So 60% was increased. So if there's any accommodation and program provided and food is combined for pets, that will attract more tourists. And cultural contents such as K-pop, as you know, is very hot in the world about our Korean movies, animation, dancing, singing. So like cultural resources is the elements to attract many tourists, especially 30% who have experienced our cultural something, have intention to visit their places. So this is one of the advertisement, promotion to get attraction from somebody who might visit in Korea next year, 2 years later. I believe that is same to any other countries. And food. Food is one of the key elements for the tourism. So at the end, I will show you about the food cases of the Korea. And now the food tourism length first. They just choose, oh, I want to go there because I want to eat that one. Yesterday, Nadia invited me to a local restaurant. I loved it because I cannot eat that same quality in any other countries. This is the place I must come to enjoy that quality, freshness, diversity of the local food. So how to promote local food for others are very important. As you see, maybe somebody have watched K-pop Devil Hunters, and there is a ramen, and there's a kimbap and tteokbokki. Actually, that is not traditional Korean food, but many young generations at this moment enjoy that, and actually that is very convenient food to take for the young generation. So now in every country in the world, they love to take that one, even that is spicy. Sometimes that is not good for their health even. And Hallyu industry, which is what we call Korea Wave. Actually, my university name has been changed last September, which is the Graduate School of Korean Culture. So we are more focused on how to cooperate with other countries with our Korean culture. In other words, we focus on how to each country's local culture can be cooperated and accepted by other cultural society. So among them, as 30% who expose to that culture, they have an intention to visit the other countries. And no, I think that is duplicated. Yep. Okay, and now AI. So what we need to do is AI-based tourism system. Nowadays, especially the young generation, they don't want to go for the tourist company. They just search by AI, which means you need to input many things about your own tourist attraction. If not, AI cannot learn your attraction. AI cannot analyze your attraction, and AI cannot suggest to prospective customer about your attraction. So the more you put information about your own attraction, such as this afternoon I went to the bunker, put more information on Facebook and Instagram, on the Google, whatever, the more information they have, then AI is easily recommend to prospective customers. If you don't do that, AI doesn't know where you have, what do you have. So you need to know how to utilize AI system. It's like In a traditional way, we normally invite tourist company, which we call PEM tour. So let them understand our attraction, and then they will invite tourists. Now, you must let AI be invited. And, okay. Why it is? Oh, I'm sorry, I just go in different way. And wellness and healing travel. Especially here, I found there are many good places to take healing and wellness with the food. So it is much easier for you to design this. And digital transformation. We always say that AI is the, now, don't forget how to utilize the AI becomes first priority of all aspects, especially for the tourism. And local experience. This one I just want to share with you. One of the things I was afraid when I was invited by Nadia for the local restaurant and others, they do not show me the system of their restaurant, and they don't show me name of the food. They don't show me the ingredient of the food, which you will feel uncomfortable to order. Of course, I was lucky because I have Nadia who can order instead of me. But tourists who are not familiar with your own food, they hesitate because they are afraid to have something which they do not understand what they will eat and what they will watch, what they will experience. Now, the consumer trends has been changed from passive to active and experimental and initiative. This is the key element you must remember. What I mean passive means they just go and watch exhibition, read books, watch TV, movie. But now customers want to be more active. They participate and draw whatever and experiment. And finally, they want to initiate. They want to organize all things, even the tourist place. Let them organize by themselves. Just to show them what you have is not good enough. Let them be the owner of the place. Let them initiate. That is the thing I want to make you sure that this is the way you need to go for. And I just, because I have only 4 minutes left, I will just skip very fast. Cultural city in Korea, we have 228 local government, and I was one of the judges to select cultural city out of 228, and we have now 37 cultural cities. And these are the map of our cultural city. That is the national government activities. And we have a tourism hub city. We have 5 tourism hub city, and we grant some money to make them more active, and content city. And sometimes the tourists want to do something after their tour, so open more hours are more important. And local 100 are one of the successful cases because each local have their own small something. So, but they have no way to promote to overseas. So the government select 100 and promote. And these are this is South Korea. And actually across the ocean, every locations are very weak because there are no young generation live there. So the government decided to select 300 harbor to make revitalized. So this is another system, and I will just skip. And we divided 12 areas, and appoint which area will be strongly supported by which tour activities. And let's see. And this was what I did in Cambodia when I was sent by UNESCO to search about the Angkor Wat. And actually, they have very interesting tour program. Took the vehicle run by cow. It's because of, the king, there was a statue, the king was taken that same things. So when I took the cow vehicle, it's like I became a king. And this is Apsara dance. Actually, it was, actually it was stopped, but using 1,700 the carved things, they recreated. And they have cookies shaped like this. I'll just show you 2 minutes of this and I will finish. This is a case of the Korea. As I told you, the food. The reason I choose, because Nadia's mother is a very good cook. And I really want her to develop some program. Actually, in Korea, she was the first lady who wrote down food recipe in Korean. When in 1670s, 400 years ago. And that book is transferred until now. And we register some of the brand. I strongly suggest when you have something to do business with traditional heritage culture, make your brand. Register your brand. If not, the Western conglomerate company will take advantage of you, what you have developed. Okay? So this is the place that you can enjoy when you visit this place. And they have a homestay, and they have the restaurant, and they, this is, still they just cook, all the recipe ways. And you can stay over there, and this is the brand registered. And if you come to visit Korea, I see, yeah. In the middle, it was me. And, you can experience 400 years recipe food today with the location like the 400, 500 years location. That makes people come to that place and enjoy, stay there and enjoy experience of the tour. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Profesor Sibum Kim. Dari beliau kita belajar bagaimana industri Korea Selatan berkembang secara aspek nasional yang ternyata terbangun dari local tourist industry, industri berbasis lokal yang berkontribusi besar sebagai penggerak utama pariwisata nasional di Korea Selatan. Beliau juga menekankan pentingnya integrasi AI untuk pariwisata sehingga dapat membantu turis ketika mereka sedang berwisata di Korea Selatan. Sekaligus menjawab tren konsumen yang saat ini sangat menggandrungi teknologi AI dalam perjalanan pariwisata. Beliau juga menggarisbawahi beberapa strategi penting dalam pengembangan industri budaya di Korea Selatan seperti pembangunan hub, sentra-sentra pariwisata, revitalisasi ruang-ruang yang terabaikan, dan juga penguatan industri konten daerah seperti makanan dan produk-produk lokal. Baik Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita memasuki sesi tanya jawab. Kita masih ada waktu sekitar 20 menit bagi sesi tanya jawab. Saya silakan Bapak Ibu untuk bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris, silakan. Silakan, Bapak yang pertama bisa disampaikan. Tim IT mohon bantuan untuk mikrofon. Boleh disampaikan nama dan pertanyaannya ditujukan untuk siapa? Mungkin kalau sulit diidentifikasi boleh pembicara pertama, kedua, ketiga atau mungkin ya berikutnya nanti Pak WD2 silakan. Oke, sudah booking pertanyaan. Silakan Bapak. Tidak. Boleh saya?
Okay, thank you. I want to ask my question to the first speaker, Mr. Professor Hardy Chang from Peking University. I have two questions for you. And the first question is, what is the percentage of cultural heritage and tourism contribution to the whole Chinese economy? Okay. And the second question is, according to the Chinese political economic policies and Indonesia's, it is so far different, yeah, between Chinese and Indonesian economic also politic, okay? So they are so far different between Chinese and Indonesian political condition, and also even whole politics are so different between Indonesia and China. So the question is, can you tell me the Chinese culture, heritage, and tourism strategies so the Chinese economy can be the fastest growing economic in the world, okay? And even I think it was the strongest competitor for US economy. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for your question. Well, two questions, yeah. So the first question, yes, in China, especially after 2012, so the from central government to local government have taken emphasis on the culture, heritage, intangible and tangible resources, how to promote the economic development. So until in this years, you know, in China we call this how to promote the consumption-driven economic development. So you know, because of international the new globalization issue, even China and the USA have some problem because yes, we come know something. So we have to focus on domestic market. So you know China, yes, China, the population is going down just like yes, so, other countries, South Korea's, it seems, situation. But we have a huge population. Even we have become the fast development level, so have a middle class consumption. So how to promote the potential of domestic conversion. So we have the government have made policies for so many different policies. So one of these policies is utilize culture heritage to promote economic development. So as I said and my colleague said, so we call this 4 different model of a culture innovation development of economics. The first one is we call this traditional culture heritage. So you know, now we will have a much more and more confidence, cultural confidence, even for young generation or their generation. So now so many young people just want to buy the national brand, and we just like the Hanyu, the Korea wave, Korea tide, Korea wave, we call it as a Hanyu or Hua Liu. So This first model. The second model we call this culture, creativity, and integration of other industries. Even because China is a big country of manufacture, so how to combine the culture innovation and technology innovation? So we just so many factory, digital productor, and how to use culture, art resources into the product. Even some we call this EU electric energy car or some AI, how to combine. And this third model we call this culture integration. So culture integration, we call this how to combine the primary industry, secondary industry, and the trinity industry. So we call this the sixth industry. So how to combine? So we not only care about the industry's function, but also we care about the cultural value, aesthetic value, spirit value of industry function. And the last model we call this, yes, as I said, culture empowerment. So culture empowerment means mutual impact. How to promote culture into, how to promote the culture to driven economic development. This one hand. The other hand, how to economics to foster their culture creativity. So until now, we will need the creativity of environment, even come from the grassroots. The grassroots, the normal people can fall over creativity, and we need to create the freedom environment, and we build the frame competition market system. So we have made so many policies for this, from the production to consumption. They're all over value chain. So that's the first question I just answered. And the second, yes, for China, yes, maybe we just talk about the second question, the thing. So in China, we have how to combine between the balance, keep the balance between market governance and government governance and market driven. So how to keep balance? So because when we talk about the culture development, maybe we have matched the different goals. Yes, social benefits and economic benefits. It's a gap over the two goals. So, but how to keep the balance? And you know, in China we have different culture companies. Some companies just from the traditional culture institution, totally is a national state institution. So translated into a state culture company. And the others is a private company and a non-profit organization. So how to combine this, keep the balance between different stakeholder? So we need some more partners, and we promote the deeply reform of a culture institution. So even from this year or last year, so for central government, we made some partners for how to open the cultural resource into the everyone, even for the SMS or big company. So I think this is very important to show how to keep the company, give the freedom to creative for everyone. Even we know we have utilized AI technology. We call this from PGC to UGC and AIGC. So how to we utilize the three different creature. So we have need much more points. So for Indonesia, yes, we have different system and culture background. But this is my second time to visit Indonesia and Malang City. And in my opinion, in my experience, I think here the culture totally is a deepening lifestyle. So I think culture is not knowledge, it's not just the culture research or some religious or some studies. So here we can find the culture immersive into everyone's lifestyle. So this is just like Professor King said, so we visit here, we want to experience the local culture lifestyle. So this all can show much more attractive for the tourism coming from the China and the other countries. So how to keep their lifestyle in Indonesia and keep the balance between technology and handmade and keep the balance traditional and the modernization. So I hope, yes, our international workstation, we can do something, keep the balance, and just the Professor Apisa showed the case in Thailand. I just visited this Cockroach Iceland. So maybe we will organize some cooperation workshop in this island, and I hope I can do the same thing, the similar thing in Indonesia.
Okay, sorry, sir. Can you tell me what is the percentage for cultural heritage and tourism contributions to the whole Chinese economy? The number of the percentage, can you?
And until now, the culture industry, maybe the last year's the number we can say is take the GDP, that means 4.039%, and it's a culture industry development. And the tourism industry maybe the same number. So now we call this integration culture and tourism. So for culture industry, we have next 5 years want to become a pillar industry over GDP. Maybe the pillar industry means we just at least 5% of GDP. So, but it's very huge. But we have to do something, because after COVID-19, there are some consumption, especially for a normal consumption for tourism and cultural consumption is not going up, but not going down. It's going down. So why and how to promote this? We have to do something for this. So maybe we can find some solution maybe in here or answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question,
Professor Chang. Okay, my name is Supaat from Indonesian Heritage Museum from Jatim Park 1, Batu City, 25 kilometers from Malang. Thank you very much for the answer.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Pak Supaat. We continue to the second questions. We have Pak Didi, please.
Allow me to introduce my name is Didi. I don't know somehow that in Chinese means brother, right? Brother or sister, I don't know. Didi, yeah. So my first question is related to Professor Hardy. So how can, and also Dr. Chad and also Dr. Kim, they are the same question for those three of you. How can local communities be empowered? I believe that they are kind of tripartite of the cultural heritage governments and local communities and also the government, and and then the university. And my question is, how can local communities be empowered to join the cultural heritage projects rather than acting only as beneficiaries or just viewer? How can they be empowered? And then the second question, I believe that Peking University and also some other universities has a best practices. And then my question is, what best practices allow cultural tourism to generate income without causing cultural commodification or environmental harm? How to make money without make some environmental harms? And then the last questions about the about the policy and government's protections. How can the heritage protection policies be structured? I mean, the government roles to allow adaptive reuse of historic buildings, the architecture of cultural heritage, without compromising their authenticity. I believe that all of us now are really happy to have the exposure from you guys. We love it because every authentic cultural heritage will be put in database and will be digitalized, and everyone can see it based on AI, like Dr. Kim said just now, and everyone is really curious to visit the real object of the tourism places by having the AI and also the some Facebook and other social media promotion. That's how can the heritage protection policies be structured to protect them while we are having the economic result of them. And also, how can historically significant buildings anchor the sustainable tourism routes that benefit the local business? I mean, my point is how to extract or to monetize those tourism places and how to digitize them without harming the authenticity of the real places. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Didi. And your
Can I do first?
Perhaps your first question is addressed to Prof. Apichart and Prof. Yeah. A lot of questions. I would like to invite Prof. Apichart and then Prof. Kim.
Yes. I think I go to the empowerment of the locals. Let me borrow Dr. Sheng Yong's phrase. There's one thing that I find it useful, that is intergenerational dynamism. And I think if we recognize the identity of each generation, one of my references that I have used talked about the identification of each generation. What do they look for? What they and why they feel the lack of attitude. I think once we could identify their problems, then we could solve the problem. So the intergenerational dynamism is one key to resolve this problem of empowerment. The second thing, which is equally important, is the clarification of the policy. I think my government is a little bit too liberal on this, unlike many other governments in China that they could command. And I think the more liberal you have, the more diverse sound you would experience. So I think the layer of the policy has to be in the same line. And of course, to get rid of the competitiveness, but rather cohesiveness of the work. Number three is the use of the social media. I believe everybody loves the pictures. And once they are seen together with the pictures, and anything that record their life together. The social media can help to enhance. So far, Douyin or TikTok does not play much role in this very island. And if they have the exposure together in the island, so that would see the togetherness of the old and the young, and that will really, what they call burst from inside. So this is the three things I have seen. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, there are so many questions, so I'm not so sure whether I can remember all of them, but I will tell you about empowerment and landmark and protections, three things. Okay, regarding the empowerment, actually, as I told you, when we select the 37 cultural cities in Korea out of 228, the most important fact was whether that cultural city plan was from people live there or just the government side. It should be subject from the residents, and they need to discuss, and they need to fight, and they need to decide by themselves before that plan has been sent to us. If that was designed by government officers or elected leader, that could be changed in 3 or 5 years later when another one will be elected or the government officers replaced by others. But the residents, they will not replaced. That is the place that people are living. So we want get their idea, even that is not mature or bureaucratically that is not approved. That is something that local area wants in their future. So sometimes the government, local government officers are very afraid. The idea from residents are some risky, some not mature. It's okay. That is a job. Government officers should make it more concrete after listening from the residents. That is their professional skills for local government officers should have. So first one, empowerment, actually voice should be discussed by residents and discussed, and as I said, fight means they need to disagree with their own ideas. And then they find out some problems of their own ideas. So we call them red team. Somebody who said, oh, your idea is not good. Your idea is not practical. So they, among themselves, they find out the solutions to decrease the problems by themselves. And then make suggestion to the government. That is the first thing regarding the empowerment. Second, landmark. You know, in my university town is very long history town, and we have 47 traditional houses. When we have traditional houses, it should be more than 400 years old. And that house are not museum. In the house, still human beings are living. And about 90% are generation to generation. So 17 generations of the builders are living in the house. That is what we call traditional houses. So many people want to stay over that traditional house. But actually the owner of that traditional house are very rich. They do not want to clean the room. They don't want to serve the food. They don't want to clean the clothing or the bathing. So what? Neighbors who are located near that traditional house, they provide all the services, food, cleaning, etc., even tour guide. So with that traditional house, that is kind of town community. So they are very proud of their traditional house as a landmark of their town. And that makes the other neighbors become rich and share of the benefit of the landmark. That can be applied to many landmarks. Using that landmark, that is not the only one who get benefit. The others near them should share their benefit. And the third one, protection to utilization. Again, as I told you, the consumer trends are from passive, active, experimental, and initiative. Now, in Korea, every law regarding traditional heritage and cultural heritage, protection, that words of protection has been deleted. Instead of protection, utilizing has been added. What I mean is, it just to protect something is not good enough. How to utilize that heritage, that culture for today and in the future. If we believe the value of the heritage is important now and in the future, we will protect and we will utilize. But if that is not worth anymore, why do we need to protect? So think about how to utilize, and then automatically they need to find out how to protect. You know, I do business with the licensing, which means the copyright is very important. But when I'm confessed, when I was in college, you know, we just print out all English published book without any knowledge of copyright, without any guilty of the law. I believe same to you. But you know, after that, we know what is my right and how to utilize my right. So I start to protect my own right because there's a way to utilize my copyright. So when I go to take a lecture to Cambodia or some other countries, I don't teach protect my rights. I teach how to utilize your rights. Then automatically they will protect their rights. Thank you.
I just answer a very, very short time. Yes, totally I agree with yes, Professor Kim and Professor Picha said. So I just say, until now, my team of Peking University what to do. So because of this, we have to match different goals and how to keep the balance of stakeholders. So we call this model names of co-ecosystem. So co-ecosystem means we have, even we not only promote need the government as go from up to bottom, even we just need the local people from bottom to up. So how to we need the Trinity partner, how to link the government, local energy, and how to keep balance the social benefit and the business benefit, so and others goals. So the ecosystem is not only with just a thinking, with philosophy, just the value of you do something according to the standard, and we build some platform, digital platform to give a totally solution for this. So I hope we can localization of Indonesia. So yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the answers. And Pak Didi, for the questions, we still have around 10 minutes for the discussion session. So, can facilitate one more questions, perhaps one short question that require one short answer, perhaps. So start from lady right there. Then we can continue discussion on the discussion. So we made two questions from Ibu and then you, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The lady on the back, she raised the hand at first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the time is very limited. I apologize for that. So yeah, we start with the one who raised hand first. Thank you, Professor, for helping me.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for giving me some moment to ask. My name is Sabita Rafaifa, and I'm from Chinese Literature Studies at Brawijaya University. I would like to ask two questions. The first question is for the first speaker. My question is, are there any parameter or criteria that one city classified as cultural city, creative city, or other city? And then the second question is for Professor Apichart from Thailand. And my question is, how does the government support the city or village based on UNESCO in your country? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. So you are the youngest. So you are a student. So thank you for your question. It's a very important question. Yes, especially for Malang City. So Malang City, yes, we have middle art creative city in UNESCO. So how to we keep the cultural city transfer into a creative city? So when we we in China there are, in my opinion, there are four kinds of city development model. The first city I call this is just commodities. So many goods and services gathered. Just like this, this city is based on agriculture revolution. So this is a very traditional city model. So, and the other cities we call the industry city because of the city nearby some natural resource or some production generate together. So you can see that the two different cities model. You know, the first city just the citizen live there, no production, just consumption. And the second city, industry city, yes, the city is full of industry production. And this because of industry revolution. But this city is a Western model. We can say we can have to face so many different problems. So now we talk about the city revitalization, maybe just because of this. And the third city we call this business city. So business city is based on information technology revolution. So information technology links the information resource is a digital resource. But this just, yes, we need the digital refraction and some, we call this CBD or some headquarters, so many companies come from local areas gathered together, and some, we call this street, financing street, so we call this business city. So now we call this a creative city. Creative city means there's different model because of we use the traditional resources into a creative industry, creative product, creative service. So because this city, I think the first things we have to do, how to we promote the creative environment of the city. Totally, we talk about just like this when we visit this city is not only for our traditional environment or just we think something according to the same attitude. So we found here is for our diversity and even for young people. So if young people can create something, maybe not successful, but he can do something. And this city can give some opportunity for the young generation. So this, I think, is very important, so the diversity. The second is creative, we know, just rely on individual idea, skill. So not about the creative group. So how to support the individual entrepreneur and creative some platform for this. And the last is, I think we need some the totally system, even for government or university, we can support some tenants or some resource, some finance, so the city can give the solution, a totally solution platform. It's easy access to visit it and get it. So, yes, I think until now, from this year, for Malang, for this it's very beautiful city, for our traditional history city, it's faced a very, very important new start. So it's always for this new start belong of young student. Thank you.
Well, I just add one sentence. According to the UNESCO, City of Culture, Creative, outstanding value in common, which means you can be proud of Malang, has outstanding value all for the mankind in the world. So I really congratulate, and you must be proud, be selected as City of Creative. Thank you.
I think I owe you the answer. If I may repeat your question, is that how government has taken care of the cultural, tangible or intangible in Thailand, right? There are some layer of this administration. First and foremost is the Ministry of Culture. And in the Ministry of Culture, there is Department of Cultural Promotion. In the Department of the Cultural Promotion has a little office which is called ICH, the Intangible Cultural Heritage. This is the very division that works very directly to the UNESCO. And this is how the ICH registration in Thailand happened before it will be compiled and then proposed to UNESCO every year. So it depends, what country, what categories. For example, now we are waiting to have the Thai national dress initiated by the late Queen Surrogate to be announced as the World ICH. So there are altogether 300 items or 300 things under the 6 categories of ICH in Thailand. And this has been proposed and accepted and endorsed by the ICH office. The second part is the Ministry of Culture also have cultural office which reside in each governor's administration. So in each major province or provincial administration will have the cultural office, and the official taking care of this will be sent from the Ministry of Culture. We also have some public company public organization. One is the Tourism Authority of Thailand. They work on the marketing part. The second one is the DASTA, D-A-S-T-A. DASTA is short from Designated Areas for Sustainable Tourism Administration. This will go specifically to 1 or 2 activities. For example, the chanting or goldsmith or delicacy of one Chinese descendant which has been lost and been revived. So the DASTA will do this work. In each year, they will announce 10 to 20 items which has been announced and endorsed by DASTA that really, in turn, promote the tourism and promote the pride of that community. So these are how the government will have the instruments to help all of them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, dear speakers. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that our time is up. So we can continue discussion outside of this forum if you still have questions, perhaps. Of course, our keynote speakers are welcoming for the question, perhaps if our participant wants to conduct further discussion regarding to this topic. But here I need to conclude these sessions without, of course, giving a extensive summary because there have been so many discussions regarding, but one thing for sure is that locality plays an important role and significant roles in boosting national economic industry and cultural heritage, and that is going to be done here in Malang, as it has now been officially established as a city of art, media and art by UNESCO. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Freddy Nugroho signing off. I will hand this session over to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for all the international speakers. Thank you. Such a big honor to have the amazing international speakers today with us, and we do. Thank you. Thank you also to Pak Freddy Nugroho Setiawan for leading such an insightful discussion, and for appreciation to all speakers for sharing their valuable resources, materials, and insights.
非常感谢Freddy Nugroho Setiawan 先生主持这场富有洞见的讨论，同时也感谢所有发言者分享宝贵见解。
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of the whole presentation sessions.
女士们、先生们，今天所有专题演讲环节至此结束。
And therefore, this concludes the International Workshop of Cultural Collaboration and inauguration of the UNESCO Working Station at Universitas Brawijaya. On the behalf of the organizing committee, I'm Scarlett Tina, and
我是主持人阿伊莎。
It has been an honor, such a very, very big honor to serve the event today.
女士们、先生们，至此文化合作国际研讨会及联合国教科文组织布拉维加亚大学工作站揭牌仪式圆满落幕。
We would like to extend our deepest appreciation to Professor Chiang Yong, Dean of the Institute of Cultural Industries, Peking University, and the representative of UNESCO, the Dean of and the leaders of the Faculty of Cultural Studies, our distinguished international speakers, our honorable guests, and all participants. Your presence, active participations, and valuable contribution have made this event truly meaningful.
我们代表主办方仅向以下嘉宾致以最深切的谢意。 北京大学文化产业研究院院长、联合国教科文组织代表向勇教授，文化研究学院院长及全体领导，各位杰出的演讲嘉宾，尊贵的来宾与全体与会者，诸位的莅临、积极参与及宝贵贡献，使本次活动意义非凡。
May the insights and collaboration shared here today open a new pathway for partnership among academia, government, and cultural communities, driving innovations and strengthening the creative industry toward global future.
愿今日在此分享的 见解与合作，为学术界、政治及文化界开辟新的关系路径，推动创新，并强化创意产业，共同迈向全球化未来。
Before we officially close, we invite you to join us for a tea break located in front of the hall, where you can continue networking and informal discussion. Thank you very much. And don't forget that we still have the next event, that is Wayang Performance, Karakter Brawijaya, at 6 p.m. at the Rectorate Building. We look forward to seeing you again in our upcoming programs and collaborative initiatives.
在正式闭幕前，我们诚邀各位嘉宾参加大厅前的茶歇活动，届时您可继续交流互动，进行非正式讨论。再次感谢大家，并且提醒大家，别忘了6点在校长办公楼进行的瓦扬的表演。衷心感谢各位，期待在未来的项目与合作计划中再度相逢。
Bapak Ibu hadirin yang kami hormati, terima kasih telah mengikuti semua sesi presentasi hari ini dalam International Workshop. Jangan lupa bahwa malam ini masih ada pementasan wayang Karakter Brawijaya. Kami menantikan untuk dapat bertemu Bapak Ibu kembali sore hari ini jam 6 di Gedung Rektorat. Sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih dan wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and have a very wonderful day.